What is up, everyone? Luke McGuire here. Let me know if you can hear me okay. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me okay right now. I am very, very excited for today. It has been a big night last night because in Australia here, our state won the State of Origin, which is like our Super Bowl. So I'm excited. Simon Harris is here right now. Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm excited.
He's excited, and who's more excited right now is my very good friend Mike Crouch here, and I'm going to make him the presenter for you guys because he has been the #1 print-on-demand marketer in the world for Teespring. He has probably what is the most ridiculous free bonus for you guys ever seen on webinar ever for you guys today. So I'm very excited. I'm going to make him presenter now. 1 second. So he should be up here now. Mark, are you there right now? If he's not, I'll just hang around and tell you guys some bad jokes for a little bit, see if he hangs up. But yeah, so we won State of Origin last night. It was a very exciting time for everyone here. We almost did not do it the last 5 minutes, and we came away with the game. So Mike's got his screen up right now. His microphone's not on yet, but hopefully it'll happen in a minute. I'm seeing the Aussies in the comments right now, so let me know what you guys are excited for today. Let's give it a big hashtag Mike right now if you're excited for what he has organized for you all, because again, social profit hours are about pure value training for you guys. What has been organized today is something that you have never, ever, ever seen before, and you guys get it all for free. So I'm looking forward to this.
Aloha,
Dave,
Luke. Can you hear me?
yeah, aloha, my very, very good friend. So Mike here lives in Maui, which is probably the most beautiful part of Hawaii, I'd personally say, in the most amazing little villa you've ever seen, and gets to do internet marketing to fund his whole lifestyle career, doing it all from the beautiful islands of Hawaii, guys. If you haven't been there, make sure you go there at some point of time. Mike, I'll let you tell your story, your introduction, and everything like that. But guys, this is someone who is the most down-to-earth, most humble person probably you will ever meet in the internet marketing game. It's very hard to meet people that are actually humble, that are, I'd even say, like, respectful. Not many people are very respectful in this industry, and Mike is one person who I do look up to. The way he handles himself, his business, he does not boast, but he does some amazing, amazing things, and I will happily boast for him every day of the week, guys. So with that being said, I've seen all the hashtag marks come in. I'm excited for this right now. There is a recording, guys, but again, for the people that are live, you guys are going to get a lot of free bonuses here today. So, Mark, I'll hand it over to you in 1 second here. But again, let's just keep on going with the hashtags, Marks, hashtag Marks. Send them through in the comments right now. Let's get him excited, because I'm excited. Simon is over here.
I'm excited.
Simon is excited, all the way from the UK with me right now. What to say? Kimberly says, Hawaii is your favorite place in the world. It is my favorite place in the world, and it gets very upsetting all the time when I'm in Australia and I see Mike's beautiful view from his hammock and him selling millions of dollars of shirts and products. But that's what he's going to show you guys today. Awesome. Seeing all the mics in here right now. So, Mike, I'll hand it over to you. Let's get started. Let's get straight into this. I'll be here for this as well, so make sure any questions, I'll be answering your questions in the comment box. But again, Mike, I'll pass it over to you. I'm really excited for this, and let's get it done.
Awesome. Thanks, Luke. Can you guys see my video here?
Yes, we can see that amazing video with that amazing background. And again, it's very upsetting that I'm not there with you right now.
You were just here a few months ago.
Yeah, I need to come back out. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Luke. And yeah, I'm really excited to give you guys this training. You know, we've been working on this for a long time. And, you know, the print-on-demand industry has been around for some time, but it's really started to evolve a lot over the past couple of years. So Luke mentioned a little bit about myself. I started with print-on-demand back in 2013, 2014, and really had no knowledge of, no knowledge of doing online advertising. I'd never sold apparel before. You know, I don't code. I'm not like a genius or anything. But in my first month ever selling online, I was #1 on Teespring. I did about $1.3 million in sales. And then from there, went on to scale up a lot of successful online businesses using primarily, the Facebook model. And so what I want to show you guys today is really like what's up to date as far as selling online with e-commerce, as well as apparel specifically. And so I just got back from Northern California, where I met with Scalable Press. I got to actually go and tour their factories, and they're the largest direct-to-garment printer in the entire United States. So these guys are doing about $1 million to $1.5 million a day in printing, and it was really cool for me because I'd never seen behind the scenes before. So I've sold hundreds of thousands of units, millions of dollars in sales, but I'd never actually seen where the sale goes, once it goes up into cyberspace and, people click the buy button, like what actually happens next. And so it was really neat to be able to walk through the entire process and see, what's actually happening behind the scenes and all the care and technology that really goes into, the whole print-on-demand world. And so kind of coming to like where we're at today, a lot of the trainings out there for apparel don't necessarily work today the same way as they did, a few years ago. So the industry has evolved. As we probably know, ad prices have gone up, competition gets, more in the marketplace. And so what we want to do is really stay up to date with the most current strategies on, how you can be profitable using the apparel store model, because it's still not only as good as it was, but there's actually a lot more tools at your fingertips now than existed, back when I started. It's a whole different world. And so Scalable Press and TEECHIP Pro, like I said, they're the largest direct-to-garment printer in the country by a long shot. Like I said, doing over $1 million in sales per day. These guys are working. Can you hear me?
Sorry, just 1 second. I just want to make sure everyone here put a number 1 in the box if you know what print on demand is, and then number 2 if you have no idea what print on demand is, but you come here to find out what it is. So most people do know what it is. All right, just wanted to make sure that everyone knows what print on demand is, and because again, if they didn't, it would have been a bit of a problem. But awesome, everyone seems to know what it is. So I will let you continue, Mike.
Awesome. And so basically, the industry is evolving to really increase the amount of reach that you can have for print on demand. So increase the amount of people that you can target, and also make it so that you basically get the best of all worlds. Like a lot of you have probably seen the evolution of things like Shopify and different print on demand platforms. And so what I want to do in this training is kind of break down kind of where the industry started, where it's going, and basically give you guys kind of the keys to success going into the second half of 2017 so that you guys can be profitable online. One thing I do want to do real quick, though, so a bonus for everyone coming on is that you guys are actually getting the founders pricing with Scalable Press from now until the next 4 weeks. And so it's just for attending. There's no purchase necessary. And this is actually the biggest discount that they've ever offered, ever, as the largest direct-to-garment printer out there. And so if you guys want to take advantage of that discount, I want to put up the link here. And so this is it here. It's pro.teechip.com, and you can see the / Basically, you just want to put that into your URL. What's that, Luke?
I can't see a screen yet, Mike. I can see webcam. I can't see a screen.
Okay, yeah, let me pop that up for you here.
But again, guys, that is literally ridiculously big that he's giving you guys for free, because no one in the world besides you guys has this deal, which is just huge. Mike's organized this. I flew out to Maui probably 3 months ago now to meet the whole team, and honestly, it is the most beautiful team of people that are hardworking, that want to do something for my friends and my audience and you guys here. So again, it's free to sign up, and you get the cheapest pricing tees out of anyone in the world right now, guys. So big thank you to Mike for organizing this, and Doug at TEECHIP as well. So again, I'll pass it back over to you now, Mike, but we can see a screen now, but your webcam's gone, but that's all good.
Sure, yeah, and I'll tell you guys a little bit of a story about how I even came across Scalable Press and TEECHIP. So there was actually a company that started back in January 2014, and it was called represent.com. And I happen to have a couple close friends that were in that company. Now, that company actually sold I think it was about 15 months after they were founded. So they were founded January 2014. I believe they sold right around April or May of 2015 for $100 million. And I was very close with the founder, the CEO, and also the person that was organizing the factory where all the printing was happening. And so I was able, and this is actually a friend of mine from middle school, so when I was about 5th or 6th grade. And so I was able to have a peek behind the curtain at what the actual pricing was and what this company represent that sold for 100 million, what their cost pricing was going through this big warehouse in LA. And what I found was that Scalable Press and TEECHIP, which is the company we're talking about right now, was actually offering the same pricing to me as a just high-end vendor as this company that sold for $100 million was getting as cost pricing. So that was pretty mind-blowing because, these guys were doing a gigantic deal, getting their own warehouse and all this stuff. And here this company, Scalable Press, now at the time they weren't the largest in the country, but they were growing really fast, and I could kind of see the writing on the wall. But they were offering the same pricing. So these guys already, without any discounts at all, by far have the lowest pricing in the industry. So if you're going to get into print on demand, they're definitely a great place to start because they are the largest and they have the best pricing. And it really has to do with they were the first ones to ever integrate the technology, meaning the site and all the technology that you need to do print on demand, plus they own all the warehouse facilities. So they were the first to ever do that. Most people were just focusing on the technology, but then they were outsourcing the actual product itself, and that was causing prices to go up. So these guys actually own every step of the supply chain, all the way down to the trucks that actually deliver the blanks. So a lot of people don't know, some of the intricacies of the industry, but when you have a shirt that's ordered online, those blanks actually have to be delivered from the wholesaler of the blanks to whatever print-on-demand company you're using, and that can take anywhere from 24 to 48 hours. So these guys even took it to the next level and have their own trucks so that the blanks actually show up in a couple hours as opposed to a couple days. And so they've really just gone all out to basically maximize cost, efficiency, and also the technology that you guys are going to see today, which I'm going to show you, is really going to revolutionize the industry. So they just had their launch for this product that we're going to show you on March 3rd of this year. And so it's only been out for a few months. Luke was one of the few people that was invited out. Ty Lopez's crew was invited out. There was a few just really high-level players that were invited out to Maui for the launch of this. And you guys are the first to see it, other than that group of about 10 or 12 people. The people that are watching right now are absolutely the first people to see this out there. And so if you know the key to making money with this stuff and really getting in and being successful, a big part of it is timing. And I like to use the analogy of waves here in Maui. It's like being on that wave. Like if you're out there surfing, you have several waves coming in, you want to pick the right wave, and then once you have the right wave, you have to paddle, 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 and then eventually you have to stand up on the board and the wave takes you. And so with this, the timing is really good because there's nobody else that's doing this strategy. You have the largest print-on-demand company backing you up, and it's just it's pretty revolutionary strategy that we're going to go through. But back to the link that's on the screen, what I want everybody to do, because it's no risk to you and it's only a positive, is to go ahead and sign up for a free TEECHIP Pro account using this link. And what that will do is give you a $2 rebate on the standard shirts, which is the most popular selling shirt, so that your cost on them will actually be $4. The standard cost is $6, which is already the lowest in the industry by a pretty good margin. And so that will drop it to $4 per shirt. And so this is a shirt that you would normally sell for $19.95 or $19.99. And so getting it for $4, you're looking at over a 400% markup that you can do. And that's going to be valid for everybody attending this webinar with no purchase necessary at all the way for 4 weeks. So it's going to be until, I believe it's July 19th, which is 4 weeks from today, Wednesday.
Quick question there, Mike. I've seen a few people say, what if they've signed up before with TEECHIP? Can they just sign up again, or if they can register through there, will it add on to there, or do we need to organise something later for the people that are here live too?
Yeah, so TEECHIP and TEECHIP Pro are different. So if you already have a TEECHIP Pro account, you can do it either way. You can either, I think the easiest thing to do would just to sign up through this link. If there's any special circumstances where you have a pro.teechip account that that you have a lot of merchandise on and you don't want to go through the trouble of switching it, then I would just say reach out to myself or Luke directly, and we can manually put that in for you. But if you just have a regular TEECHIP account that's not a pro account, then you definitely want to re-sign up using this link, because it would be completely separate.
Awesome, that sounds very good. And I see everyone inside here. Let's give a big hashtag thank you, Mike, for organizing all of this, because again, you will never, ever see anyone doing $4 shirts for anyone ever in this industry. I saw a comment here just a second ago that said, $4, wow. Custom cat with competitor is $6 a shirt, and I was happy with that, which is still a very good price as well, to be honest. But you guys are going to get the lowest pricing, base price of the shirt. And again, it's a free membership to sign up, guys, so it's not costing you anything to sign up. But when you do start creating these products, you will even have a smaller initial cost of the actual product. And once it sells, which basically means you get a higher profit margin, means more of your money goes to work for you rather than going to a physical product. And it just simply makes you guys more money. So again, big hashtag thanks, Mike. Lots of them coming in right now. Again, I'll pass it back over to you, Mike. But yeah, I appreciate that, everyone. Good to see all those hashtag thank you, Michael, and Mike's coming in.
Yeah, and you guys are very welcome. I mean, I am a product of, this model of teaching ourselves, basically everything about an industry. And I had the privilege of being able to sit down with Tom Pritzker, who's the chairman of Hyatt Hotels. He's personally worth about $3 billion. His family's probably worth about $20 to $30 billion. And I got to spend about an hour talking with him, and I asked him, what was the number one piece of advice that he could give me, in life. And one of the things he said that really I took to heart was, know every aspect of your business. He said, all my executives in Hyatt, know every aspect of the business, and even told me a story about my dad. Back in the day, he used to be the president of Hyatt many years ago, and he was down on his hands and knees with some alligator shoes on, fixing the air conditioner because the air conditioner went out, and they couldn't get the guy there in time. And so it was just a really impactful thing that I heard, and I really took it to heart. And so with print on demand, I encourage you guys to have the same sort of attitude. When I did 1.3 million in sales my first month getting into this, I didn't have any knowledge. I didn't have any, prior success online at all. But I basically just learned the different aspects of that one strategy. So I didn't get distracted by, what's Pinterest doing, or what's YouTube doing, or, what's going on with this or that. I just focused in on, let me know everything about just this single strategy. How do I get the shirt designs out? How do I scale them? How do I get the ads running, the Facebook ads? How do I scale the ads? And I just learned everything in that tight little circle, and that would just really be what I would pass along to you. And that was from a paid class. Like I paid for a class so I could learn the basics, ask questions with people that I respected in the industry, and then from there, that was it. And I took it, and I was successful from it. So this will really give you an edge up as far as having a discounted shirt, because when you get in the game, the number one word with entrepreneur that's always associated with entrepreneur in every definition, if you look it up, is the word risk. And so by having a cheaper price, you're just minimizing your risk. And that's really one of the greatest barriers with people getting into it, is just, minimizing, not taking no risk, but you have to take a risk if you want to be successful, but to minimize the risk as much as possible. And with this, you're going to have, just for attending and just being here without even purchasing anything, you're going to have 30 days of having $4 tees, which having that over 400% profit margin will give you a big leg up with running your ads and being able to test and find the winner. So so super happy that I could do that for you guys. Like I said, I'm a product of this same sort of strategy of learning online, and so I would love to hear lots of you guys be successful with this. And like I said, the timing is ripe. So when I was on with Teespring originally, the timing was ripe. With this, the timing is very ripe, because you're going to see some strategies today that you've never ever seen before, and it's really going to make some light bulbs go off for a lot of you, and it's going to be some exciting stuff. So I guess without further ado, let me jump into the TEECHIP Pro platform. For those of you that haven't signed up yet, go ahead and take down this URL here, punch it in, and get that account right now, because in about, let's say about 30 seconds, I'm going to bring up the screen on TEECHIP Pro, and I'm actually going to walk you guys through it. So for anybody that hasn't signed up, I would just take a few moments right now and just plug in that link. And then in 30 seconds or so, we'll jump right into the new TEECHIP Pro platform, and I will walk you guys through some really powerful strategies. All right, so hopefully all of you guys have that going, and I'm going to go ahead and jump on over into pro.teechip.com, and we're going to take a look here. Let's see here. All righty, so all right, guys, so this is the pro.teechip site here. So this is, let me go ahead and log in. And before I walk you through exactly, what this entails, I want to kind of give you guys just a walkthrough of kind of where the industry started, as well as kind of where we're at today. So as I was mentioning, around 2013 to 2014, print on demand really gained a lot of momentum. And that was primarily due to this little company right here really scaling up their ads. And so Facebook really changed the game because of their targeting. And so if you wanted to, let's say, find, people that like dogs, or even more specifically, you wanted to find people that liked pug dogs or pit bulls, Facebook's going to have all of this information here. And so you could target them by giving some money to Facebook. So we're going to give Facebook some money, and then they are in turn going to send us traffic. And so one of the first things that people realized that they could sell, and this is a buy page here, so we have our item. You could tell I was an art major. Just joking. So we have the the buy button here, and what are we going to sell here? Well, if you guessed one of the very first things that people started selling was T-shirts, you would be absolutely right. So T-shirts was one of those things that you could personalize it very, very easily. And so people started selling a lot of T-shirts. And there was guys like me and others that did really well selling T-shirts and apparel in general. And the thing about the print-on-demand industry was that it offered a lot of advantages. So basically the first thing that it did is it was a done-for-you solution. So you didn't have to worry about setting up your own website. It was all done for you, and that included fulfillment. So that means that the shipping was all handled. They basically sourced the product, printed it, and they handled all your customer service. So pretty cool. So the only thing that you had to worry about in this scenario was doing the designs themselves, as well as doing the marketing. And then they did all of the heavy lifting for you. Now, there were some downsides that people didn't like about this model, and one of them was that it was, first of all, you didn't get the customer information. And so if you wanted to build an actual business where you could build repeat customers over time, they were not giving you the info. Now, this later kind of changed over time, and slowly they started dripping the info to you, but in the beginning, you got no customer info whatsoever. the other thing is that you didn't have a brand, so you were actually pushing people to another site. So in my case, when I was selling on Teespring, you know, I pushed, you know, hundreds of thousands of customers to Teespring, but they didn't even know my business. So I didn't have their info, I couldn't remarket to them, and I also didn't have a brand. And then the other thing was that the pricing was a little bit higher because of them doing so much for you. And so the pricing was a bit high. And rightfully so, because they were doing so much for you. I mean, it wasn't like they were just fulfilling and it was just the printer. I mean, they were doing your website, they were doing all your customer service, your phone calls. Teespring was even retargeting for you. If you guys know how that works, it's basically remarketing on Facebook. So there was a lot of good things and some downsides. And so, you know, we as human beings naturally look for, hey, you know, what's the next solution to this thing, to this, you know, issue of having, you know, no customer info, no brand, and higher pricing. And right as people started looking, this solution came out here, which was Shopify. Now, Shopify solved a lot of these problems. So with Shopify, you got all of your customer info. You also had your own site, so you were able to build a brand, and the print-on-demand companies would integrate with Shopify through the App Store, and you would actually be able to have lower pricing. So sounds like a perfect solution, right? Well, not exactly. So as these problems got solved, the original things that made print-on-demand great started to kind of fall off. So was Shopify a done-for-you solution? It wasn't. So now, even though it's not as hard as coding a website from scratch, you still had to have the learning curve of now you need to build a whole Shopify store. So it was not done for you. They did handle your fulfillment, but it was only partial because they weren't handling your customer service. And so you did have some fulfillment, but customer service, whoops, see if I can draw here, customer service was a no-go. So you had to handle your own customer service now. And that's a big one that a lot of people overlooked. So, you know, people jumped to Shopify and they were happy that, okay, we have a brand, we have lower pricing, you know, we have all our customer info, we're building something real. And then it's like, oh, wow, if I'm scaling up to $1 million a month or even $100,000 or even $10,000 a month in sales, there's going to be a lot of customer service calls. There's going to be emails. People are going to want to know their tracking information. They're going to want to, you know, exchange for sizes. And it definitely hindered scaling. So, it was a big deal. And so basically, you know, what ended up happening is people started bouncing back and forth, frankly. I mean, people jumped to Shopify, and then they jumped back to print on demand, and then back to Shopify. And people really were trying to, you know, weigh out, you know, what is the better solution. You know, on the print on demand side, I can scale up and do it much faster, but I'm paying higher pricing. I'm not retaining the brand like I want to. Or I can go to Shopify where I have a lot more flexibility, but now I have to like hire my own customer service team. I have to deal with exchanges. I have to build out the site itself. And so this is kind of how the industry has evolved over the past couple of years. And so what TEECHIP Pro has done is really come along and offered a little bit of a better solution. Let me see if I can just clear this real quick here. Oops, page. We've got a new page. There we go. So, so TEECHIP Pro basically looked at this issue and said, "Hey, let's." And I worked with these guys very, very closely over the past several years, and they are very quick to act on you know where the industry needs to go. Probably faster than anybody I've seen as far as just iterating and building solutions. And so they said, hey, what if we take the best of both worlds and we put them together so that somebody can jump in, they can have a done-for-you solution, they can have the customer service, they can have all these things, and actually even more, but they don't have to learn a new skill. They don't have to, you know, learn Shopify from scratch. They don't have to deal with all the customer service. And what would that look like? And so that's really what they've done. So with TEECHIP Pro, you have all the advantages of done for you. I think I have doctor's handwriting today. You have, you know, fulfillment, customer service. We'll customer service, CS. And you also have your own brand now that you can build, so you can still keep your brand. You can still retain all of your customer info. And as we talked about earlier, the pricing is better than ever. Whoops. Whoops. There we go. Pricing is awesome. Oops. All right, there we go. So that's really, you know, what TEECHIP Pro looked at when they were putting together this platform, and I was there, you know, along with them, helping them to kind of put all these pieces together. And so what I want to do next is kind of let's jump into the TEECHIP Pro platform and take a look at kind of how they've taken this stuff to the next level. And you guys can be able to jump in the game. And we're going to actually do one of these next week as well. We're going to even dive deeper into, you know, running some Facebook ads. I'll show you how I actually, you know, market my products and scale up, because, you know, going from, you know, 0 to 10,000 in sales is one thing. Going from 10,000 to 100,000 in sales a month is one thing. And then going from 100,000 to, you know, upwards of that is another strategy. And so I want to take you through kind of the methodology that we created on our end to be able to facilitate that type of a growth. Because I know for all of you, you know, you just really want to be able to have something substantial that you can scale, that's going to be real and that's going to be long term. And I think you'll find that with what TEECHIP Pro is offering. I'm also going to teach you an entirely new strategy of taking this into the agency model. And what that means is going into businesses, and we've already done this and tested this. I actually just got back from San Diego just a few days ago, and I met with someone that's actually using TEECHIP Pro right now. Actually, I have goosebumps all over. But they're using TEECHIP right now, and they sold about 20 deals in 30 days to local businesses. So bars, gyms, yoga studios. And it's really awesome because they're actually charging them a $500 sign-up fee. So 20 times 500, that's $10,000 in sign-up fees. And they're making a residual off of all of the shirt sales that come through the online store. And so the way that it works is, like, if you're a bar or a yoga studio or a gym, you might have, or let's say even a CrossFit, you might have your apparel in-house, and we don't really mess with that. We let the local business still continue to sell their apparel in-house. But what about for the big number of people that will, you know, go back home and they want to look at a website, or they might be traveling and visiting a CrossFit gym or visiting a yoga studio or visiting a bar, and they want to buy a piece of apparel online? That local business wants to offer that, but they don't have any easy solution. There is zero easy solution out there for a local business to be able to have that online store up and running within minutes until TEECHIP Pro. And so this is a whole new strategy where you don't even need to know Facebook ads at all, and you can actually make a significant, not only upfront income with charging a $500 to $1,000 setup fee, which they'll gladly pay, but also making a residual off of the t-shirt sales long term. So we might not jump into that this week. I want to go through the basics with you this week, and then next week we'll dive a little bit deeper. I'll show you some Facebook ad methodology, and then we'll actually jump into this agency strategy, which is really going to change the game, because, I mean, there are just a plethora of local businesses that would love to have a done-for-you solution. And here's the cool thing. When you charge $500 to $1,000, you know how long it took that guy in San Diego to set up these stores? It's like 30 minutes. So he's making $500 in 30 minutes, and he's making a long-term residual off of every single piece that sells online. So it's a pretty unique model that no one's ever done until now, and it's really just taking off. So let's without further ado, let's kind of jump onto the TEECHIP Pro platform, and let me walk you through some of the pieces of how this is completely different than anything you've seen before. And so let's just jump right into it. Okay, so after you guys log in to TEECHIP, you are going to see this screen here. And so let me cue this up here. All right, so you can see up here we have our main dashboard here. So right now we're under the campaign section, and then we also have storefronts, domains, profit, and referrals, okay? And so I'm just going to go over each of these with you so that you can see kind of how each of these works in the TEECHIP Pro system. And so for campaigns, let's just go ahead and create a campaign. Okay, so here we can see the different items that we have within TEECHIP. And so here we have the classic t-shirt, premium tees. So this classic tee right here is the one that you guys are going to probably sell the most of because it's the biggest seller by a long shot. And you guys are going to be able to get these tees for 30 days, or for 4 weeks. So until July, July 19th. At a rate of $4, you're going to get a $2 rebate back on every shirt that you sell, which is, like I said, by far the lowest in the industry, and it's a great way to get in and start testing and making this strategy really work. But let's go through some of the products here. So you can see we have the different shirts, we have phone cases, hoodies, different sweatshirts, and then we get into some really custom products. We have posters, leggings, tote bags, color-changing mugs. I mean, one thing in the print-on-demand industry is when a new product comes out, if you can be first on it, you can really do extremely well. I've been really, really good at that, and it served me extremely well because as soon as someone starts seeing a new product category coming up in their feed, it just triggers that newness factor in their mind where they immediately, are intrigued by it and the sales go up. And so you can see here that they've rolled out just in the past month a lot of new things. They just rolled out leggings, bags are a huge seller, hats, drawstring bags, onesies for kids. And then shortly you can see that we'll have all over prints, pillowcases, socks, cutting boards, and a whole host of other products that are basically right in the pipeline, from embroidery to sublimation on all sorts of things, like even for the holidays doing things like ornaments. Really cool the amount of products that are coming out. But this is basically what you would look at when you're designing, whichever product you want. So for this example, let's do a classic tee, and we'll do, let's say we want white, blue, gray, and we'll click done. Now you can add to this if you wanted to. So if you want to add, let's say, a hoodie, you could do that as well. Let's say white, light blue, do a gray. And any other product you want, you could add onto there as well. Now for the file, let's go ahead and upload off of our desktop here. We're going to do this little pug design. I used to have a little pug named Tank. Oh, goodness, I don't have the right size on here. Well, look, instead of going through the trouble of completely resizing it for you, minimum dimensions 1,000 by 1,000. Oh, I guess we'll just resize it. Why not? That's what Photoshop is for, right? Uh-oh.
While he's doing that, guys, I just want to mention how amazing was his whiteboard skills previously. If you see me on whiteboard trying to draw things with the mouse, it turns out looking like about maybe maybe like a 1-year-old finger painting. It absolutely looks ridiculous. So, Mike, I wanted to say how amazing that was. That was probably beside the knowledge of teaching, that was one of the best things I've seen today as well. How amazing those finger painting skills were, or those drawing skills, because they're way better than anything I could ever do.
The amount of practice that went into that, I'm telling you, is on another level.
Well, you know, that's good. That's good. Everyone here deserves that next level training and that next level finger painting and drawing design. So I'm very impressed with that.
I mean, if you like that, you should see my keynote skills. It's amazing I sold so many shirts. I mean, with such a knack for design.
Well, let's say that for next week and on the next week's webinar. Because again, guys, this is just part one. Next week we have part two. Again, Mike's going to come back again and continue on from there. But looks like everything's sized up good now, so I'll pass it back to you now. But again, everyone here now, make sure you're here again next week, or if you watch it in the replay, make sure you're here same time next week, because we're going to continue on with this. But again, Mike, back to you.
Cool. Yeah, actually, at the end here, if we want to do a drawing training, I'm open for it. So so here we have our pug design all uploaded here. So you can see that it'll line it up on both shirts automatically, which is nice. So all these little time-saving tricks are really good, so I don't have to go in and put it on each individual item. It'll just go ahead and handle that for me. And then I can go ahead and click continue. And you can see here we have the $6 base cost on the t-shirt, $15 base on the sweatshirt. Best pricing you're going to have out there. And again, for everybody that signed up using that link, you're going to get an additional $2 rebate back on all the classic tees. So super cool that they're doing that for us. Sales price here, we could, if we wanted to bring this down to, $19.95, that's kind of an industry standard. And this one, if we want to go $39.95. And we go ahead and click continue. So this will give you, now the cool thing about direct to garment, if you guys don't know, is you no longer have to do minimum orders. So in the early days of print on demand, it was all about hitting that quota of whatever the number you had to sell. You had to sell 50 shirts or 10 shirts or whatever it was. Because Scalable Press and TEECHIP, which is the same company, is the largest direct-to-garment printer in the country, all of direct-to-garment printing can be done as singles. So if you just sell one shirt or two shirts, that's fine. The cost will stay the same. So your base cost is not going to go up or down based on the volume, which is really great because you don't know which designs are going to sell the best going into it. You might have a pug design like this that sells 10 or 20, and then you might have another design that sells 200 or 2,000. And so it's nice to be able to run ads and keep everything really organized. Based off of a consistent base cost. You don't have to worry about it going up or down and trying to calculate, am I making money or not? It's just really simple, cut and dry. And so that's that, and we'll go ahead and click continue. And here we'll just kind of create a test. We'll do test. All right. Now, for storefronts, this is what's going to come into play once you have multiple designs. Now, this can be for your own stores. So let's say if you wanted to do a dog store, you would have multiple dog designs, and then you could upload that to your own storefront. Now, that's going to be completely branded for you. So it's going to have your logo, your domain name, all that kind of stuff is going to be on there. Now, to add your own domain is $50 a year. And you don't have to do it right away, but I'm going to show you guys a really, really cool feature that's worth probably about $500 a year that's actually included in that $50 price. And what that is actually a branded customer service phone number. But we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But for now, we'll just leave that blank. Category we'll leave blank. For Facebook Pixel, if you want to track it using Facebook, you can do that as well. Set your visibility. And then here you can see there are a lot of upsell options. And so this is one of the biggest things that they added on that's really going to increase your chances of success dramatically, because the cost of ads is going up, no question. The competition is going up, no question. So what are people doing right now to combat that? Well, what they're doing is maximizing the amount of ROI or the amount of income that they can get off each individual person coming into the sales page. And so these guys really took it to the next level and actually have 5 different upsell points that they're going to hit your customer with. I'm not going to take you through all of them individually right now. You guys can kind of go in and play with this yourself. But you can see here the modal upsell. This upsell will be presented in a modal after the checkout, and you can add up to 4 campaigns. So that's the first one. The second one is an email upsell. So after they check out, they're going to be emailed another upsell automatically. There's also at the bottom here a pre-sell upsell, which it can display totes, mugs, posters in the buy it now modal. And there's a packing slip upsell, which actually when your product is delivered to your customers, there's actually an upsell in the box as a packing slip that they can take advantage of. Once they open the box, they're holding their brand new shirt. They're like, wow, this is awesome. The quality, like I said, I was just at the factory, and it's the best quality I've ever seen, you know, in a print factory. I mean, these guys are just literally on another level, and I guess you have to be if you're doing, you know, over $1 million a day in sales. But yeah, they're actually putting a packing slip in every single box that you send out as long as you add a campaign that's going to upsell them again. And so what that's going to do for you is just really give you an edge on success, because you're going to have so many touch points of upsell, 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 which is going to increase your cart value at the end of the day and allow you to actually be you know, extremely profitable when running t-shirt campaigns. Whereas if you didn't have any upsells, you might be, you know, struggling to get to that profitability point. And so once you have all those added on there, you can click launch, and then boom, there you go. And we have our shirt there, hoodie, color options, etc. So now let's go ahead and jump into the next part of the training, or the next item on the dashboard. Oops. Which is going to be storefronts. So with storefronts, basically, this is, like I said, you're going to use this for 2 reasons. One is going to be when you are creating a niche. So like dogs is one that I did extremely well with. So I would do all different types of dog breeds, from pugs to border collies to pit bulls to bulldogs. And these are all extremely targetable on Facebook. So you can actually get into these little niches. And I'll actually show you guys a trick on next week's call, where you can actually get in and really find these tight little niches for, you know, things like dogs, or pretty much all different sorts of niches, where you can really find the buyers right away. And so this would be the first reason that you would set up a storefront. The second one would be for companies, and that's what we're also going to get into more in depth next week, is how you can actually do this for agencies. So you could set up your own store for your local gym, your local yoga studio, your local bar. And that's what this gentleman in San Diego was doing. And like I said, he sold 20 of these in 30 days, literally right when this thing came out. And he doesn't even have the same discounts that you guys have, you know, being able to start off here for the first 30 days. But he is, you know, basically made $10,000 up front in fees, and then is also making a residual for the lifetime of that client. So every time that gym or that yoga studio or that bar sells a shirt online, he gets paid. And actually there's a minimum, so even if they don't sell any that month, or they only sell a few, he actually has a minimum built into his model, which I'll show you guys, so that he makes a minimum of, you know, $20 to $30 a month as his, you know, as his minimum service fee to run that store. So that's really where you're going to have the storefronts come into play. And like I said, you can do a custom domain for this, and it's $50 a year. And you would do that by coming over here into the domain section. Now, the cool thing about this is the $50 a year, like I said earlier, is probably worth about $500 a year, or maybe even like $5 million a year, because I hate customer service so much. But they're actually going to give you your own customer service branded number for your store. So imagine this. This is super next level, guys. So you go and you sell, I'll use an example of actually one of my clients who's doing this out here. It's a Fusion Fit gym here on Maui. They're on the North Shore of Maui in a town called Haiku. And They sell a lot of tees. They sell a lot of tees in their store, and they sell a lot of tees online. And so they have a site where you can go and purchase the tees online, but as an agency, if I set that up and I make the fee and I make the residual, one thing I don't want to do is customer service. And I'm sure none of you guys really want to do it either. That's people calling up saying, hey, I got the wrong size. Hey, can you switch this out for me? Hey, can I return this? So what TEECHIP has done is taken it to the entire next level with giving a branded phone number. So when someone calls that store for Fusion Fit, they're going to answer. TEECHIP is going to pick up the line, so it's actually going to be TEECHIP Pro answering the phone for you. But instead of answering the phone and saying TEECHIP Pro, they're going to say, hey, it's Fusion Fit Gym Apparel. How can I help you? And they're actually going to be doing all of the phone customer service for you and email customer service, but it's going to be branded for whatever that store is. So you get all of that for $50 a year. So what this guy was doing out of San Diego is he was charging a $500 setup fee. He was taking $50 of that and getting the custom domain, and then again, so he's netting $450 and then making a residual off of the client long term. And I can tell you, just with the businesses that I've dealt with, everybody wants this because there's been no solution to do this easily in the past. So anybody that would have done it would have either charged way more, or if they were only charging $500, the solution you would have gotten would have been inferior, and you wouldn't have had a customer service number. You probably wouldn't have had any customer service at all. And for a business, that's a huge deal. I mean, for a gym or for somebody to make extra money off of an apparel store is great, but if they start getting customer service calls, they're going to be over it really quick. So if all of that's handled in-house, you can imagine how happy these guys are to just write you a check right away to have that up and running. And like I said, it was taking the guy about 20 to 30 minutes to get it up and running. So, Luke, are you on with me?
Sure am, brother. I'm here right now.
Cool. Do you mind taking over for just 1 minute, and I will be right back?
Yeah, brother, you go ahead and do that. So, guys, I just want to recap everything that's happened here. And again, about the quality of TEECHIP is absolutely ridiculous. So, again, I went out to Maui, I'd say 3 months ago now. They flew me out there. I had no idea what I was going to. I'm not an e-commerce master. I love to bring e-commerce masters to you guys to show you guys people that are actually doing it, not just for them, but for their audience as well. So Mike said to me, come out to Maui, which is a hard thing to go to. Maui is the most beautiful place ever. Come out here to Maui, see this company called TEECHIP. They have just revamped everything they're doing. They have their new TEECHIP Pro system come out, and I had no idea what was going on, but I saw a bunch of my friends, like Ty Lopez's crew. I made a lot of very good new friends there as well that are e-commerce experts. And then I went out there, and I was just trying to pick their brains from a complete non-e-commerce perspective, from basically an internet marketing perspective, as in how can this help the everyday person make some big bank online, because everyone there was already making giant money through doing print on demand. And in my head, my audience, like my friends and like you guys, a lot of you guys want to learn how to do this, but I said, how can this be done for a complete beginner from start to finish? And more importantly, how can I give them a better deal? Because obviously TEECHIP Pro is free for you guys, but how can I give you guys a better deal on the actual cost of the product when you go ahead and sign up and get started with this, which has taken a couple of months to get this done. But I went out there, I saw the quality of the product, I saw their factories, I saw pictures of like how they actually do the actual shipping. It's absolutely ridiculous. And before I hand it back over to Mike again, I want to make sure you guys know that a lot of these print-on-demand companies, the order will come in, they'll send it to China, it'll take forever to get to the actual end user. That is not like TEECHIP. They have so many printing stations, and I was blown away. And I said to the guys there, I said the owner, Doug, co-founder, one of the part owners, Doug, I said, guys, you need to really show off your business and actually show everyone how big you guys actually are and why you guys are the #1 company in the industry. Because you go to the site, you'll see it's very minimalist, very clean, very plain, which is great. That's what I love. But at the same time, it doesn't show how big they are. which is why I wanted to have this deal for you guys. So again, thank you, Mike, for coming out and getting this deal finalized and done for everyone here. So if you want it back again, Mike, I'll hand it back over to you.
Yeah, good to go.
Cool.
Well, yeah, thanks, Luke, and yeah, definitely being able to go and actually see the factories. I mean, Teespring was actually the biggest in the industry in the beginning, and just in the past few months, TEECHIP PRO actually bought up all of their screen printing machines and is just expanding. So I mean, these guys are just about as smart as you can get in the print-on-demand industry. I mean, while certain companies are staying the same and retracting even, like Teespring, these guys are doing nothing but growing. They're actually adding a new factory, which we're going to tour here in a couple months in Dallas. It's going to be 250,000 square feet, and that's going to be their 5th factory in the United States. But it's really neat because they go through such care to even where they put the facilities, they always put them right next to the shipping stations. So all of their factories are actually purposefully built right next to not only the shipping companies like USPS and DHL and all these big shipping warehouses that they have, but also right near the blank factories, so that they actually have their own trucks that they're driving and bringing in the blanks within a couple hours, so that your customers are actually getting the products, on average about 1 to 2 days faster just by them having their own trucks. So just really cool that not only do they have the best technology and all this cool stuff that you can use, like with the custom phone number that's branded for the client, but then also on the back end, as far as the care that goes into quality control and speed control, it's just on another level. So yeah, really, really cool to see. So for those of you that haven't signed up for your free account yet, I just put this link back on the screen. So if you go through this link here, you're going to get a additional $2 rebate off the shirts from now until July 19th. And so I definitely highly recommend doing that so that you can go in and test and have that $4 base cost, which is you won't find it lower anywhere else, guaranteed. So, and again, these guys are the largest direct-to-garment printer in the entire country. So to have them backing you up at their level of quality and speed is definitely going to put you guys off in the right direction. And yeah, I mean, I just want to emphasize the fact of really what's possible with scaling up a new model. Not only am I going to show you the the theories that I've used to create 7 figures in sales using Facebook, but there's also this entire new opportunity coming out dealing with agency type of work, where even if it's just people that you come in contact with casually, you would just be absolutely blown away by the number of local businesses that want to have a store set up for them so that they can sell apparel outside of their website. So, and they can put a link to it on their website. They can make it cohesive so that it's all on one site, or they can have it separate. It's easy to do it both ways. But basically, like I was saying, within 20-30 minutes, you can have a site up for them, be able to charge them $500 to $1,000 for the setup. It only costs you $50 to set up everything with the custom domain and the branded phone number that answers the phone in their name for customer service, and they're happy campers. And then on top of that, you get to make a residual off of it long term. And like I said, next week, next Wednesday, we're gonna dive a little bit deeper into that strategy and show you guys how that works. So anyway, so that's the link there. Definitely go ahead and sign up for that free account if you haven't already. We got a plane going by here, or a helicopter. Maybe we have a surfer down. And so let's jump out of here. Cool. So the final thing here is, once you have your sales, you can track all of your profits through here. And then for referrals, for anybody that you bring on, they're going to pay you 25 cents for the first 3 months on everybody that comes on and goes through the store. Now, we've actually forfeited that on our end so that you guys could get the full $2 discount. So for you guys going through our link, we actually are forfeiting that so that we can give you the full $2 discount back, which is a lot better deal for you guys. So pretty awesome. But if you guys, with your account, if you guys refer anybody to this solution, you'll get that referral for 3 months ongoing as well. So that pretty much is going to wrap up this training for kind of the basic overview of TEECHIP Pro and to kind of get the creative juices flowing as far as what you can do. Next week, what I want to do is jump into specifically how we're running our Facebook ads and how you guys can scale up, how I specifically scaled up to do over $1 million in sales with in my first 30 days on Facebook, as well as going deeper into this agency model that's really going to be taking over. So I can guarantee you guys, 100% guarantee that this model that you're seeing with agencies is absolutely going to blow up all the way through the end of this year. And going into next year as well, frankly, because they're actually going to be building out even further solutions that it's going to make it even more easy and user-friendly for you to go through this process with agencies and even cut the setup time down even less. So from being 20 to 30 minutes to set up an agency all the way down to being like 5 to 15 minutes to set up an agency. So those of you that are looking, and this is coming from, you know, like I said, I was number one on Teespring. I'm pretty good at catching trends as they're happening. Like I said, I can just absolutely guarantee you that this trend is absolutely going to be something that you're going to want to pay attention to going into the second half of 2017, because there's going to be a lot of money made from it. It's going to bring a lot of great service to businesses, so you're going to be making a lot of businesses very, very happy by having this solution. So it's going to make you feel good as well as make you a lot of money. And it also has that residual aspect attached to it, and the residual aspect of it is very, very significant. So if you were just making, you know, doing 20 sales, let's say a month, making 10 to 20,000, depending on if you were charging, let's say 500 to $1,000 a client, that would be great. But the icing on the cake is that there's this whole residual model where you're actually getting paid off of every shirt sale on and on and on forever. So this is something that's brand new. Me and Luke have talked about it in depth, and you know, we run across a lot of internet marketing strategies, and this one definitely, you know, caught both of our eyes, to say the least. And so I just encourage you to really pay attention to, you know, these new strategies going into 2017, and to really be on the tip of that wave as far as that goes with the not only the new Facebook strategies that I'll show you, but especially with the agency strategies.
And I'll jump in there really quickly as well, guys. So again, it's all about catching trends. The trend that Mike said, he discussed this with me. I never thought about it, so we talked about it when I was over there in Maui, about going to local businesses, walking into 10, 20, 30 local businesses around you, saying, let me provide you with your actual apparel, with your clothing, with your actual outfits, with anything that you want to brand your business with, and I will give it to you for a very affordable price. Say, for example, t-shirts, charge them $20 a piece. You guys get them for $4 a piece. So guys, that's a profit margin over and over and over again, depending on how many people buy the actual product, right? That's without doing any paid advertising at all. That's a way you guys can get started for free, making some serious money really quickly, where you don't even have to see the product. You don't have to do the shipping. It all just gets done, delivered instantly as you sign that deal, guys. So that's a really, really easy way to get started in this type of print-on-demand area without, if you have no money at all to spend really on ads or anything like that. I know Mike next week's going to show you a bit more in depth on that area and what goes on around there. But yeah, guys, think about that in itself. Going to 20 places this week, just walk in there. Don't be afraid to do it. Call them up, email them. Say you want to take over their uniforms. You want to send them actual shirts. I saw a company around here, around the corner, doing the exact same thing. It was a sushi train, and they have sushi train shirts that they're selling for $25 a piece, and they're actually even leveraging the actual their loyalty cards. You get 20 loyalty stamps or whatever, you get a free t-shirt. That is an incentive again for that free t-shirt. You could do the exact same thing and just have 1 to 20 people come in, free shirt gets sent out. Instantly, you're making profit there. You're looking after the business. You can charge the business for consulting. There's so many ways to work this rather than just doing ads to an actual print-on-demand site that then you max sales. But in saying that, that makes a lot of money as well. But the trends right now are so much wider than what everyone used to think about it. There's so many other opportunities that Mike's mentioned here, guys. So really pay attention to what he's been saying.
Well, thanks, Luke. I appreciate that. So yeah, that's going to go ahead and conclude this. Now, we do have a class called Apparel Academy Pro that is going to dive extremely deep into exactly what we do to basically maximize our profits when we're using Facebook, and also the exact strategies and templates that the gentleman in San Diego is using to run that agency business. So we're basically going to give you the complete layout. So whether you're going the traditional route and you just want to go into the second half of 2017 with the best, absolute best Facebook strategies that people are using right now, not the stuff that people were using a couple years ago, we'll have that side of it. And then we'll also have an exact blueprint of the agency model that the gentleman in San Diego is using to create $10,000 to $20,000 in income per month, as well as creating a long-term residual income. So all of that is going to be in there, and this is going to be the link for the class. So there's a couple payment options. There's a one-time payment of $997, as well as a 3-pay easy pay of $397, and there's going to be some incentives included with this. So obviously, if you just sold 2 agencies at $500 a piece, or even 1 agency at $1,000, the course would pay for itself. And this guy sold 20 in his first 30 days. So I think it's extremely doable that you guys could take this model and pay for itself within weeks, if not days. But the other incentive that you're going to have is that you're going to get that $2 off rebate extended for another 4 weeks if you join this class, which is going to give you a lot of runway to be able to maximize that discount. So instead of that discount expiring on July 19th, which is what it'll be for everybody that's attending, you'll get an entire additional 4 weeks of the discounted $4 shirts all the way until August 16th. So if you just sold 500 shirts, not even including the agency model, if you sold 0 agencies but you just sold 500 shirts using the Facebook model, which my first month online I did about 50,000 shirts, to put it into perspective. So if you just, so not 50,000, if you just sold 500 and not even sold 1 agency deal, the course would pay for itself. So I really try to do everything I could to tee you up for success. Like I said, I'm a product of these online classes and taking it and using it to generate massive success online. And so my goal is to really empower the people here on Luke's call to do the same, and to really keep you guys up to date with the most effective strategies. And I've literally spent tens of thousands of dollars just in the past 24 months talking with the brightest minds in this industry and getting the most up-to-date strategies for you. So you're even going to see new things in there, like putting physical products together with digital products. So selling t-shirts with a digital product, and some really cool things that guys are scaling up into the millions of dollars per month. And all of that stuff is in there. And so, yeah, I really look forward to the people that are going to jump on board and having you guys be successful with it.
And saying that as well, Mark, I just want to make sure that actual link in the actual description. If you guys do jump into that, I always look after people that actually jump into my friends' programs and the things that I actually know actually work for people. If this is you and you're jumping in, if you've already jumped in, the link is in the chat box. I'll also give you 3 months free of Insta Easy, and also I'll give you an Instamate membership as well, guys. Absolutely free for jumping in as well. In saying that as well, those tools aren't actually for sale anymore. You can't actually go ahead and buy them through their actual links. That's because I'm actually turning them into a high ticket product. Launch is over. People always do fake scarcity, saying it's going to raise in price in a couple of weeks and a couple of days, blah, 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 after a launch, and it never does. I'm not about fake scarcity. I'm about, if I say something's going to happen, it's going to happen. So what I'm saying here, guys, is if you want to jump into this now, You get an extra week into it as well. Again, we have another training next week as well if you're on the fence as well about that. But in saying that, if you do jump in now, you get obviously the cheaper t-shirts for an extra week there. You get the bonuses right away. This isn't here I'm not here to push this on you guys right now. I'm not a hard salesperson here, but this simply works. And if this is where you want to go, Mike is the person to learn from in this field. I could not think of anyone better that's actually not only done it himself in terms of the marketing wise, but actually gone on the flip side into the actual business that actually creates these shirts, creates these products, and help leverage how they're doing things to that next level as well. You never will see the number one salesperson from Teespring either on an actual webinar, guys, giving us these offers. And again, as well, if it's not for you, you can't afford it, whatever it might be, who knows, but you still have that free option with the $4 t-shirts and for another month as well, guys. But if you can jump into this program, make sure you go ahead and do it. I'll give you 3 months free of It's Easy, which is over $180 right now, guys. And it's going to be turning, when it turns into a high ticket product, it'll be over $1,000 a year. You guys get that for free. Instamate for free. The whole funnel, again, right now, it's about $500. Actually, no, I'm not even selling it anymore, actually, publicly. But it was selling for $500, but you guys get that for jumping in this because I want to look after you guys as well. So go ahead. I'll put the link in the chat again. It should be down there now. Put it there again. And go ahead and do that. But again, this isn't a sales webinar, but in saying that, if this is for you, you are the person that wants to go into print on demand. This is the course that will take you through the A to Z. And you can see Mike is the person that knows what's going on here, guys. He's put this course together especially for my audience here. I don't believe you've even shared this with anyone else yet, have you, Mike?
No, you're the very first to be seeing it, and in fact, you're the other than, like I said, the group of 10 or 12 of us that were here on Maui, which was, you know, all the top earners out there, guys that are doing millions, if not tens of millions a month. You guys are the very first to see it, and also too, you said with this they got an extra week, and I just wanted to correct that. They get an whole extra month of the $2 rebate on the tees. So instead of having 4 weeks, by signing up with this class, you're going to have 8 weeks of the discounted tees. And so, you know, just that alone, like I said, I sold about $50,000 worth of tees my first month. If you could even sell 500 tees, it would pay for itself. Or even if you just got 1 or 2 clients on the agency model, this would pay for itself. And like I said, this is the go-to strategy going into 2017. I can absolutely put my personal guarantee on it. So I'm looking forward to the people that jump on and check it out.
Exactly right, guys. And again, I've sent a few questions here. What are the bonuses again? You get the full funnel of Instamates. That's over $500. 3 months of Insta Easy. That's over $200, guys. And again, that's the prices when it was for sale. You can't actually buy those tools anymore because, again, I'm turning them into a high-ticket product. So if you want to jump into something and get those tools, which instantly will cover the cost of the actual investment of this, may as well do that right now, guys, because you get it all together. In saying that as well, Mike is the master in this field. I don't know anyone else who can do it better than him, and I would not bring him on a webinar here if I did not believe that as well. It's taken a while to get this whole webinar sorted. Mike's been hassling me, not hassling me, been grinding on me, saying, let's do it. I've been traveling, I've been moving, I've been doing everything, but I'm so happy this is being done now, especially with the time that I've taken. And I think Mike's also gone out to TEECHIP as well and really made this a solid as hell course over the past couple of months, guys, for what works right now. Again, what works 2 years ago isn't going to work now. You guys need something that's going to be working right now. Trends come and go really quickly, and you need to be on the trend that actually works now. And you need to follow up with those trends. But again, when you get, like Mark said, when you hop on a wave, you surf it out, and then you cruise, you get on the next wave, and you just keep on making it work. But the biggest part of it all is to get on that first wave, guys. And if print on demand is for you, this course is that first wave for you. Plus, I'm making it irresistible because of the bonuses giving it as well. So that being said, I'm not going to push that anymore. If it's for you, click the link in the chat box, jump into it right away, because again, it is going to make you guys a lot of money if you want to be doing print on demand. Mike's coming back next week as well for another webinar. Some more training, some more in-depth training on actual campaigns and whatnot, I believe. Do you want to just recap that again, Mike, before we close this out?
Yeah, I'll be back next week, so we'll be diving into actually the Facebook training and what I use to scale up to over $1 million in sales with my first month, and then we'll also be kind of going over the agency model and how that works. But in the course, we'll be getting deep into the agency model and actually giving you all the sales materials and giving you the actual blueprint that they're using out of San Diego to do 20 plus sales a month in the agency realm. And he's just getting started. And I actually, took my own spin on it to even take it up to the next level. So I think you guys learning from this can actually do quite a bit more than 20 sales a month if you use the strategy the way that I lay it out for you. So yeah, but we'll be jumping on next week and going over that. And then also too, the stuff in this course is very great for print on demand. Print on demand is a great entry level to not even entry level, because obviously the numbers that are possible are very high, but it's a very cut and dry way that you can get in and be successful without having to have too many moving parts. Like if you jump straight into Shopify or stuff like that, you're going to have a lot of moving parts, and you're really going to have a very a higher percentage of risk. Whereas this is going to be really reducing your risk down to next to nothing, as long as you follow the steps, because it's all done for you and it's all a proven model. And what we teach in the course will also apply to you in e-com. So I've also taken the best Facebook strategies, like things, like I said, mixing physical products with digital products, which is actually blowing up right now. It's another one that's going to be something to absolutely watch in 2017. I break it down by the numbers, step by step, so you guys can see how several people that I know personally are doing millions of dollars a month, or at the minimum hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, using the physical plus digital model as well. So all that stuff is in the course. So it's gonna be very broad, and you guys just focus in where you think you're gonna be the most successful, and whatever you're the most passionate about. Do what I did, just focus in, and you guys will do really well.
Boom, exactly right, guys. So, if anyone has any questions, send them through now. Otherwise, we'll continue on next week with this, and we'll get more in depth with that as well. But again, if you want the head start, jump into this course now, guys. It's an absolute no-brainer if this is the area you want to be in. Mark, do you have any final words before we close this up and be there next week?
No, good to go. I just appreciate everybody's time, and I look forward to spending more time with you guys again next week. And that's it, man. And aloha from Hawaii. I really look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Aloha, my friend. And finally, let's give a big hashtag. Thank you, Mike. I want to see more coming in right now. Big hashtag thank you, Mike, in the comments, and I'll choose someone randomly and give you guys a nice little prize. Boom, 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 boom. I love seeing everyone active in here today. Awesome, awesome. I'm going to choose someone, and it's going to be Sherry Wilson, my friend. I'm going to send you my email. Send me an email after this. I have a little gift for you. It was a random scroll, and that's who it landed on. So, Sherry, send me an email saying, hi, it's Sherry. Let me know what the random gift is, and I will get you a nice random gift. And everyone else, guys, here being tonight, thank you once again for being on the Social Profit Hour once again. I hope you learned a lot today. Next week, again, Mike will be back. Again, because he is Hawaiian, you know what he is going to be saying is going to be the most humble, honest advice ever. Because, again, the Hawaiians, anyone that lives in Hawaii is legit the most kind people I've met in the whole world. There's many schools over there that I donate to regularly. It's my favorite favorite place in the world to visit. I go there very, very often. And again, being able to go out there and see Mike and see what he's doing there is absolutely amazing. And again, being on a tiny island and being able to make millions and millions of dollars is absolutely insane. And same as me down here in Australia. Again, if we can do it, guys, there's no reason you can't as well. I know a lot of you guys are absolutely killing it as well. But in saying that, guys, let's get this done. I'll see you guys next week on the Social Profit Hour again. I appreciate all your time being here today. Every single Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, which right now is 8 a.m. Australian time. But I appreciate you guys. I'll see you in the next week. Get into that Facebook group as well, guys. Check my email for that actual link if you haven't been in there yet. The new brand new Facebook group is where you guys want to be for all the brand new free training, the webinar replays, absolutely everything you guys need. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel as well, because again, that's where I post or rewatch them. You can go there as well. But in saying that, I'll put the actual link to that in the description real quick. Sorry, in the chat box. YouTube channel there, subscribe there. Everything's going to be there. And in saying that, guys, have a great day, and I will speak to you guys next week. And thanks again, Mike, for being here. I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, thank you very much, Luke. And also for everybody that jumped on, the lessons are going to be dripping out every single day. So you're going to have about 5 or 6 lessons in there that are there now, and then they're going to release every single day. You're going to have more content so you can follow along with us real time. And if you jump on with us now, when we get on next week, you'll be pretty caught up on exactly where the strategy is, and we can get you guys successful as soon as possible.
Boom, awesome. All right. Thanks, Mike. Thank you, everyone. I'll see you guys in the Facebook group later this week, and I'll speak to you guys then.
Aloha.
Aloha. Thank you, guys. I'll see you soon.